Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first class on numerical and statistical method. So we have to cover two major points in this subject. One is numerical part and other one is statistical part. So I'll do statistical part first and then we'll do numerical part. Okay, so when we talk about statistical part, we study a subject called statistics. Okay, so in statistics, when we study statistics, in statistics, we need to cover a lot of topics like we need to cover statistical description of data in statistics. We need to study statistical description of data. So once after studying statistical description of data, then we need to study measure of central tendency. Then we have to study measure of central tendency. After we study a measure of central tendency, then we have to study measure of dispersion. Then we have to study measure of dispersion. After measure of dispersion, we need to study correlation, the regression. We need to study correlation, regression. Okay, and then after correlation, regression, we need to, when we done with correlation, regression, we can study time series analysis, which is the part of regression only. Then we need to study time series analysis. After we study time series analysis, we have to study concept of index number. After we study the concept of index number, then we need to study the concept of probability. After we're done with the concept of probability, then we need to study the concept of test of hypothesis. So more or less, this is the syllabus of statistics, which you will find in any UG or PG curriculum of any university in India. But for you people, for this subject called numerical and statistical method, you don't have to study all this. You just need to focus on topics like measure of statistical description of data, then measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion. In correlation regression, you only have to study correlation here. The regression question I have not seen. Okay, and then time series and all you don't have to study because the application of regression. Index number you don't have to study. Okay, then probability you have to study, very important for your exam point of view for the subject, very important, probability. Test of hypothesis you don't have to study. Okay, now the first part of that is statistical description of data. This is completely theory. This is completely theory, and theory questions can only come in 2 marks. You can see when I see the theory section in last 4 5 year question paper, if you observe the different question paper of Bangalore City for this subject, numerical and statistical method, you will not find any theory question from the statistical description of data. No question come about statistical description of data. So you can understand if whichever year question paper, if you see, there is no theory question from statistical description of data. So whichever I'll just show you just for the time being, 2019 question paper. So there's no question on statistical description of data. So with that, you can understand it's not so much relevant for Bangalore City curriculum to go through the theory portion of statistical description of data. But even then, I'll just give you a brief idea about statistical description of data, and quickly we'll go to the numerical part. Okay, so we'll not focus more into theoretical part. We'll start the next chapter, which is called measure of central tendency. So when I say statistical description of data, okay, when I say statistical description of data, okay, so I hope you people are understanding, right? Whatever I told you just now, till now, anyone have any doubt, any question? So here, before I start the discussing statistical description of data, you need to understand, uh, although we are studying the theory part of statistical description of data, we need to focus only on measure of central tendency, the concept of mean, median, mode, geometric mean, harmonic mean. Okay, then in measure of dispersion, we'll only focus on standard deviation, coefficient of variation. Okay, the concept like mean deviation, quartile deviations and all will not focus more. Correlation very important for exam point of view. Correlation is very important, so we'll focus on correlation, and then we'll focus on probability, very important for exam point of view. So if you see the previous year question paper, you can get an idea about overall what kind of questions are being asked in exam. And so we'll try to focus more on what kind of questions are being asked in exam, so that way it should improve your performance. So when we talk about statistical description of data, so what is statistical description of data? So first of all, let try to understand what is basically a data. First, try to understand what is data. Data, when we say data, data is a code. Data is a symbol. When we say data, what is data? Data is all together. It's a combination of symbols, the combination of symbols what we can receive by any medium, either by using any what you say computer based medium, or by using any physical medium. The symbols, or the series of symbols, or the combination of symbols what we can receive, okay, and which we need to use uh, in to come up with some kind of research, that we call as a data. When we say data, data can be of two type. A data can be either qualitative data. When we say data, a data can be either qualitative data. Data can be either qualitative data, or a data can be either quantitative data. So everything is data only. The whole world is running behind data. Data is everything. So you have seen a lot of movies also where they talked about what data is all about. Now there's a science which is famous right now. Everyone's talking about something called data science. You heard of data science. So in data science, we use a lot of tools like Python, R. Okay, we use these tools, we Tableau, okay, data visualization, Power BI, lot of tools we are using in and around. So ultimately, what we are trying to do, we are trying to work on data only. So data, what when we talk about data, data can be of two types. Data can be either qualitative data, or data can be either quantitative data. When we say qualitative data, it is called as ordinal data. When we say qualitative data, it is called as ordinal data. Whenever you say quantitative data, then it is called as cardinal data. That is another name. So all the data which can be expressed in the form of number, okay, or in the form of digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those are called quantitative data. So data which is written, or which is expressed by using symbols, which is called decimal system. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that is called quantitative data. In quantitative data, you can study binary system, or hexadecimal system, or in the system. So that is included of this. It should be consist of symbols which are our decimal system symbols. Those are called as quantitative data. And when we say qualitative data are those are data which is either expressed in the form of alphabets, or it can be or it can be alphanumeric. It can consist of certain digits and alphabet. Those we call as qualitative data. So when we talk about here in this subject called statistical description of data, here we are focusing our discussion on data, what data is all about. We are taking the help of lot of data science tool, and by which we are trying to investigate the data. Data can be either qualitative data, or data can be either quantitative data. So when we talk about data, how we can do post-mortem of data and come up with the conclusion of the data. So that series of steps which is being done to investigate, or to analyze, or to interpret the data, that is called as statistics. So what is statistics? So statistics is basically a science which works. What is statistics? When we say statistics, what is basically statistics? Statistics is a science, or it is art, whatever you can say. It is a science which works on, it is a science which works on on parameters like collection of data. It works on parameters like collection of data. So first you need to collect the data. Once you collect the data, what you need to do, once your data is collected, then you need to talk about organizing the data. The next thing would be organization and classification of data. The next thing is organization and classification of data. Once you collected the data, then you need to organize and group the data, classify the data in some way. So the next part is called organization and classification of data. So once you organize the data appropriately, what you need to do, once data is organized, then you need to analyze the data. Then analysis on data, analysis on data. The third part is analysis on data. Once you analyze the data, then what you need to do. So the analysis, what you did, that is a homework, what you did from your end to understand the data. Once your analysis part is done, you need to tell to the world what analysis you did. So for that, you need to present the data. Then it is called as presentation of data. And once you present the data, what you are trying to understand, what you want from the presentation, you want you and everyone to understand the data or to come up with interpretation of data. So what kind of interpretation you can get from data, so that is called as interpretation of data, which we call as data interpretation. Nowadays many competitive exam, uh, so when you solve many competitive exam question paper, you'll get a lot of questions on graph, table, pie chart, and that section is altogether called data interpretation. So when we say statistics, what is statistics? Statistics is the science which works on data. So primarily, the limitation of the subject statistics is that it can only work on quantitative data. Okay, in statistics, you cannot work on qualitative data. Now we have a lot of science. Now we have a lot of tools through which we can even convert the qualitative data into quantitative data. That is possible now. But even then, if you refer any textbook on statistics, you'll get to know that in statistics you cannot work on qualitative data. Data can be qualitative data or it can be quantitative data. So when we work on statistics, we need to express the data numerically. The data should be numerically expressed. Whenever you are expressing the data, it should be numerically expressed. Okay, you cannot work on a single data. Whenever you work on statistics, in statistics, you need lot of data together. You need lot of data together in statistics. And when we are working in statistics, we are collecting data. So when we talk about collecting data, so the data, when we discuss collecting of data, how we collect the data. So the data can be either collected, those data can be either, it can be either primary data, this data can be either primary data, or this data can be either secondary data. This data, when we talk about collection of data, how we collect the data. So how, in what platform we can use to collect the data there. I need to talk about the concept of population and concept of sample. But just you can hold population sample for a moment. You need to understand here, when we talk about data can be either qualitative or quantitative. Okay, such kind of data which you collected first time, such kind of data which you collected first time, okay, which is not already available. The data which is already available in some platform, it is called secondary data, either physically or online or any medium. If the data is already available, it is called secondary data. And the data which you collected first of all from your hard work, that it is called as primary data. This primary data you collect by different ways. You collect primary data by using direct observation method. You can apply direct observation method, so that you can collect the primary data, or you can collect the primary data by interview. Like you can do personal interviews, you can do personal interview, direct interview, or you can do indirect interviews like telephonic interviews. You can do telephonic interviews. okay, or through mailed questionnaires, or by sending the questions from mail, like Corona is going on, so you cannot do personal interviews and all. Neither indirect interviews are preferred. You can do so maybe through social media or through online. You can do interview, then that is safe. So you can collect primary data either by direct observation method, either by personal interview, by indirect interviews, by telephonic interviews, by mail questionnaires. So different ways are there through which you can collect the primary data. Primary data is the data which you collect first time from your hard work, which is not available in public domain or any other domain. So secondary data is the data which is already available. So you need to always, if you are working secondary data, you need to always structurize the data. You need to know when you're working secondary data, you should know the reliability of the data, how much you can rely on the data, how much you can rely on the platform from where the data is being taken. Nowadays, you know that a lot of data are proxies. Nowadays, you have heard of in social media and in many platforms, by using the advanced form of technology, the data are infringent. So the data are manipulated. So you need to very sure about the source from where you're collecting the secondary data, what is the lifetime of of that data, on what conditions the data was initially created. That also you should know. Imagine if you're collecting, you're using some secondary data, so you should be sure about the source from where you are using the data. At the same time, the data which is secondary now, it was somewhere in the past, it was primary. So when it was primary, on what constraint that data was collected, that also you should be sure about that. So once you're sure about all these, then only you should go with the secondary data. And whenever you're using secondary data, it is always important to give the reference, or the medium, what you say, bibliography. You need to mention from where the data is being taken. So that way, it is very important to tell the source of using where that secondary data is being taken. So data collection in statistics is all about working on data. So when we work on data, the first step is to collect the data. So that that collection of data, when we are working on, we, so that data which we are collecting, that data can be collected either through population or it can be collected through sample. So there you need to remember this part, that statistics, when we are studying statistics, it is primarily of two types. One is called descriptive statistics. One is called descriptive statistics, and another one is called inferential statistics. The another one is called inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics is all about working on population, and and inferential statistics is all about working on sample. Okay, now you question arise, what is population, what is sample? So how to understand what is population, what is sample? So you need to understand, guys, one thing, that whenever you do statistics, whenever you work on statistics, what is statistics is all about? Statistics is all about research. So it's a research what you're doing. That research what you're doing, you are doing that research with an objective. There should be an objective. Okay, so without that, if you don't have an objective of doing research, then it means you are wasting your time. So there should be an objective of doing the research. Based upon that objective, maybe my objective is to know how much people are aware about coronavirus. Maybe that is my objective. So my objective is to know how many people in Bangalore, how much people in Bangalore are aware about coronavirus. So what is population? Population is sum total of all the elements which is the part of your study, that is called as population. So what is population here? Population here is the all the population of Bangalore. So because my objective of research is that how much people in Bangalore are aware about coronavirus, it means then all the people of Bangalore, all the people of Bangalore are basically the population. Because they should be the part of my research. So population is sum total of all the elements which should be the part of your research. If you do your research on the complete set of the respondent who should be the part of the research, then that kind of doing research is called as descriptive statistics. While certain time when you do research, you have limitation of time, you have limitation of money, okay, you have limitation like what you have right now, maybe lockdown. Well, you know, the certain limitations are not in our hand also, not in our control. So when you have limitations, then you cannot work on each and every unit which is the part of your population. So in that time we take a subset of a population. Okay, so that is called a sample. If a population consists of n elements, if a population consists of n elements, so how many subsets can I make? Subsets can I make? That is equal to 2 to the power n. Don't ask me why, because you studied already permutation combination. Because you studied already permutation combination. Now don't ask me why, how 2 to the power n, set theory, all that you studied maths. So, so when we talk about sample, what is basically a sample? Sample is the subset of a population which is being used while doing a research, because we cannot do research on each and every unit which is the part of the population. So instead of working on each and every unit which is a part of population, we take a subset of the population which we called a sample, and then we do research on sample, and based upon what data, what output we get from the sample, by that we try to understand the complete population. That way of doing research is called as inferential statistics. The different methods are there to collect the sample from the population. It can be simple random sampling, it can be simple random sampling, or it can be stratified sampling, stratified sampling, or it can be cluster sampling. The different methods are there. It can be cluster sampling, or it can be a simple judgmental sampling. It can be quota sampling. There are a lot of methods are there of sampling. I'm not going to discuss those methods. If you are really interested, I'll send you the videos of mine on statistics where I discuss those methods. You can refer them. So basically when we work on in statistics, the first thing what we work on is the collection of data. While working on collection of data, either we work on primary data, or we either work on secondary data. So that is what collection of data is all about. Then we'll talk about organization and classification of data. So by using these mediums, you can either use secondary data, which is already available, or you can collect the data first of all by yourself, which you call it data. Once the data is being collected, the next thing what you need to do is to organize the data in certain order. You need to group them data in certain order. Then it is called as organization and classification of data, where we use different methods. We use quantitative classification. We use different methods, that is called quantitative classification. We can use methods like qualitative classification, we can do quantitative classification, we can do qualitative classification, we can use qualitative classification. Okay, we can follow chronological classification, we can follow chronological classification. Okay, or we can follow chronological, then geographical classifications. Once the data what we collected, we can group the data into different subgroups of the which we can follow different medium. Like we can divide the data based upon geography, we can divide the data based upon the time period, or we can divide the data based on some attributes like gender, or maybe some attributes like some features, some qualitative features, so that you can maybe religion or something. You can divide the data, then you can divide the data quantitatively. Maybe if you get the marks of student, maybe I get all the students who have done their class 12th. Okay, so all the students who have done the class 12th, now I want to invite them for my coaching institute of IIT, JEE, or something, some random cat exam coaching I'm starting. So I want, so what I'll do, those people who have good marks, I'll prefer them over the others. I'll give them more scholarship so that they should join my institute only. That way I'll get benefited. So that is called quantitative classification. So different ways you can classify, you can group or subgroup the data. So that is called as classification and organization of data. Once you're done with the classification or organization of data, then the next thing is the analysis on data. This is the most important thing what we do in statistics is to analyze the data. So when we talk about analysis on a data, how we can do analysis part, so we can either follow univariate analysis, we can either follow univariate analysis, or we can follow bivariate analysis, we can follow univariate analysis, or we can follow bivariate analysis, or we can follow multivariate analysis. So different ways are there through which I can analyze the data. So the different ways we can analyze the data, because ultimately what we are studying here, we are studying here what is statistical description of data, statistically how you can describe a data. So when we say data, data can be either in the term of attributes, or data can be either in the term of number. So we need to convert everything in the term of number if we are studying the subject of statistics. Okay, so first thing, you need to collect the data, then you need to organize or group the data, and then you need to work on the analysis part. So analysis part, it can be univariate analysis. Univariate analysis means you only focus on one particular variable, okay, and then you try to work on doing the postmortem of that particular variable. Univariate, one variable. You don't bring too many variables. On single variable, you do your analysis. That is called as univariate analysis. So that is called as univariate analysis. So whenever you do a univariate analysis, whenever you do univariate analysis, so in univariate analysis, we'll study measure of central tendency. We'll study measure of central tendency, and we'll study measure of dispersion. We'll study measure of central tendency, and we'll study measure of dispersion. We study measure of central tendency, measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion. Here we believe that the data follow normal distribution curve. That is the general assumption in while we do finance, when we do study statistics, that whenever data is there with probability, then we express the data either as binomial distribution or either as in Poisson distribution whenever the data is there with probability. While when the data is not there with probability, then we believe that the data follow a normal distribution. So this is normal distribution. This is called as normal distribution. This is called as normal distribution. So when data is not expressed in the form of probability, or when NP or NQ is greater than or equal to 5, we express the data in the form of normal distribution. Now, this normal distribution is basically, it is a bell-shaped curve. What you can see, it's a normal bell-shaped curve where we believe that the maximum data lies at the center. The maximum data lies at the center. It is a tendency of data to aggregate at the center, which we called as measure of central tendency. It is a general tendency of the data to aggregate at the center, which we call as measure of central tendency. While in measure of central tendency, we study the concept like mean, we'll study the concept like median, we'll study the concept like mode. Okay, under mean, we'll study arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean, where the relation between arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean is square of geometric mean is arithmetic mean into harmonic mean. where arithmetic mean is greater than equal to geometric mean greater than equal to harmonic mean. So you can remember this relation. So measure of central tendency is all about locating the central part of data, is all about believing that the maximum data will aggregate at the center, which we call as measure of central tendency. Then when we talk about measure dispersion, it believes a randomness in the data. It's like not all the data will aggregate at the center. Data maybe they'll disperse from the center. That the dispersion of the data, the dispersion of the data, that will study under under measure of dispersion. The dispersion, how much your data can disperse from the center, that will study under measure of dispersion. So under measure of dispersion, we have a lot of tools. Under measure of dispersion, we have lot of tools like we have range, then we have mean deviation, okay, then we have quartile deviation, then we have standard deviation, we have variance, lot of tools are there. So we'll primarily for you BCA curriculum will not go beyond standard deviation, will focus more or less on standard deviation only. Okay, so this measure central tendency and measure of dispersion, they are part of a univariate analysis where you'll focus on one variable and you do research, all forms of research on that single variable, that we do under univariate analysis. When we talk about bivariate analysis, in the case of bivariate analysis, we'll bring two variables together, that is called as bivariate analysis. And this, when we study bivariate analysis, when we are trying to study bivariate analysis, there you need to understand in bivariate analysis we study two things. One is called correlation and the another one is called regression. So correlation is basically the relation between two variables which are mutually independent of each other. The correlation is the correlation regression. They are the part of bivariate data analysis, where correlation is basically the relation between two independent variables that we call as a correlation, while regression is the relationship between two variables where one variable is dependent on another. That is called regression. Okay, so here for your BCA curriculum, only correlation is important, regression is not important. Okay, and then we study something called multivariate data analysis. Nowadays, uh, it it make more genuine for us to do every parameter research in multiple variables, because we are living in such a complicated, complex environment that every unit change of every variable, which altogether impact your microeconomics or macroeconomics parameter, will ultimately gonna impact us directly or indirectly. So in multivariate data analysis, we bring into a sum total of all possible coefficients which can impact the risk and return of the given research what we are undergoing. So that we do in multivariate data analysis part. So altogether in statistics, when we are working on statistics, so either we work on collection of data. Once the data is collected, then we work on organization and classification of data, where we group the data into different parts. Okay, we subgroup them, and then we try to do analysis. Analysis is all about applying the law of mathematics to get output from the data. So once you apply the law of mathematics to get output from the data, which is called as analysis part. Once your analysis part is done, once we are done with our homework, then we need to tell to the world what homework we have done. So then it is comes the next part. It comes with the presentation of the data. The next part comes is the presentation of a data, how you present your analysis to the rest of the world. So that presentation can be either textual presentation. That presentation can be either textual presentation, or it can be either tabular presentation. That presentation can be either tabular presentation. That presentation can be either a diagrammatic presentation, the presentation of data. It can be either diagrammatic presentation, or that presentation of data, it can either follow graphical presentation. So there are different ways you can present the data. There are different ways we can present the data in the form. In the case of textual presentation, we present the data in the form story, while in case of tabular presentation, we make tables. So tables which consist of of of, of box head, caption, stub, row heading, column heading, okay, and then body, content, and then your footnote and source note. So those are, that way we can present the data in the form of table. Textual presentation means you write a story. That suppose IPL match happened between RCB and Sunriser Hyderabad. Now whatever happened in the match, you wrote in the form story. Okay, you wrote everything. But who in this world will have time to do that? To read, if somebody has not watched the match, then what we prefer under that time. Imagine if the scorecard is given to us in the form of table. So by looking at the scorecard of both the team, I can easily understand who has win the match, and I'll understand what overall has happened in the match. So that is called tabular presentation. So the tabular presentation, when you do tabular presentation, when you do we talk about dividing the table. So dividing a table, it has box head, heading of the table, then column heading, that is called as caption. Then you have stub. Stub means row heading. Then you have body. Body means content of the table. Then after that you have footnote. You have footnote, and then you have source note. So you have footnote, and then you have source note. Someone camera is on. Please switch off your camera. I don't know the person. Please switch off your camera. So tabular presentation. So in the form of table, we can present the data. So that is called a tabular presentation. So you can easily understand. These all are self-explanatory. Then when we talk about diagrammatic presentation, then we take the help of diagram to present the data. So diagram, when we talk about diagram can be line diagram, or it can be bar diagram, or it can be pie chart. Okay, line diagram can be again simple line diagram, logarithmic line diagram, multiple line diagram, subdivided line diagram, bar, horizontal bar diagram, vertical bar diagram, a simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, percentage bar diagram. All that is known, not so much to discuss with you people. Just you just need to know a little bit about that, more than enough. While when we talk about graphical presentation of data, then graphically we can present the data in the form of a histogram, frequency, polygon, frequency curve, and then ogive. Graphically, if you want, you can follow histogram, or you can follow frequency polygon, or you can use frequency curve. You can use frequency curve. You can use frequency curve, or you can use ogive to present the data graphically. Diagrammatic presentation you can do through line diagram, then you can have bar diagram, and then you can have pie chart. So different ways you can present the data. So ultimately, what once you're done with the research on the data, whatever research we have done on the data, it is important for us to tell to the whole world the research what we have done. So that we can do in the form of presentation of the data, where we present the data and will tell to the rest of the world the kind of research what we have done. So that is what about presentation of data. After the presentation data, the next thing is the interpretation of the data. So in the interpretation of data, we'll study data interpretation. What interpretation you get from the data. Altogether, you have seen a lot of concepts related to data interpretation. Whenever you work on data interpretation, a lot of questions in many exams you have seen on data interpretation, where you get the questions based on on table, bar diagram, pie chart, and all, and you need to come up with 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 the final interpretation part. So exam right now, if you give related to job, anything you'll give, you'll always get a question on data interpretation. So it like you're seeing this kind of questions, you're seeing these kind of questions. Okay, so you'll get these kind of question based on graphs, pie chart, and all. So you need to solve this question. Okay, so you need to analyze the graph and then you need to solve it. You have heard of data science, how important is the data science in our day-to-day life. So everything is based on artificial intelligence or machine learning. So we are talking about these tools. No, nowadays you go through. If you see ad also, you get a lot of ad of machine learning. You get a lot of ads on machine learning. You get a lot of ad on machine learning that to learn machines, learn to work on machine learning, or you have heard of the concept like artificial intelligence. All these concepts, whatever we study, either machine learning or artificial intelligence or data science, they're using the concept of statistics to understand the data or to analyze the data or to come up with the conclusion of the data. So no one knows the history of statistics. That since when we are using this subject, no one knows. So you can find the relevance of statistics in book written by Chanakya or Kautilya, Arthashastra. You can find the relevance of statistics maybe 3000 BC. When you go that time also, you can find the relevance of statistics. In Arthashastra, you can find the relevance of statistics in Aine Akbari, written by Abu Fazl, who was working under Akbar Kingdom. You can find the relevance of statistics in old Mesopotamian or Egyptian civilization. So statistics is using from very long time. No one knows since what time we are using this subject statistics. Initially, this subject was used. Why this subject was used for counting purpose, uh, so that the king should know how many people are living in his kingdom. Okay, the purpose what why the king was using this subject was to know how many people are living in his kingdom, so that based upon that he or she can plan his military or he or she can plan the taxation part. That was the sole reason of how this subject came in picture. But gradually, as the time progressed, gradually as when the time progressed, we see the relevance of this subject. We see the relevance of this subject in many disciplines. Now we see statistics is being used in agriculture. We see statistics is being used in business. We see statistics is being used in medicine line. It is used in pharma. It is used everywhere. So that how the subject becomes so much important. Even those who do MSc in biochemistry or anything, they need to study statistics. Just an example I'm giving you, because those are pure biology students. Even then, they should be good with statistics, because statistics is all about working on data, how you can analyze the data, how you can come up with the conclusion of the data. That is what statistics is all about. So you can spend some time reading the basics of these concepts, whatever I have done in this class, theory part and all. I have I have other series of assignments being done on the theory part of statistical description of data. If you are really interested, I can pass on those information to you whenever you want. But otherwise, for BCA curriculum, we do not need to go more about the theory part to understand the basic what statistics is all about. Once you understood the basics on statistics, what is statistics, what is the basic how the statistics works, your work is only this much. Tomorrow we'll do a measure of central tendency. We'll start with the problem on arithmetic mean and all. So these are the questions which came for your BCA exam related to the chapter on measure of central tendency. All these questions one by one. We'll start from tomorrow. This much we have done for today. Anyone have any doubt, any question, please ask me. So guys, I believe you have understood everything, whatever all I have done in today class. In today class, we discussed only the theory, understanding of statistical description of data. So theoretically, we should have basic knowledge about the statistical description of data. What is this statistics is all about. Although we have studied statistics in our class 11, 12, mathematics, already we have studied this. But in case if you have forgotten or if we have misplaced that knowledge, then probably this would be a learning or revision class for all the students who are listening to me. So guys, then it's time to wind up the class. I hope you like the class. So please take care of yourself. See you all tomorrow. Till then, be very safe. Thank you everyone. Thank you Pooja. Thank you Meghna. Thank you Mohan. Thank you Nirupam. I hope you people are doing great. I hope all is good with your life and all. So it's time to wind up then. If nobody have any doubt, take care everyone. See you all tomorrow.